Hi, Dr. T here from Human Tune-Up Clinic. I am your health and wellness coach. Today I wanted to experiment in making this flatbread that I saw on YouTube. So thank you, YouTube, for educating me. And that this flatbread I'm calling is called many different names, different part of the world, such as roti or chapati. The flour that this individual on YouTube that I saw used was all-purpose, but I'm using barley, and that's because I have known, I guess you could say, I have known that barley is one of the healthier flours that is within the gluten-containing grains. However, recently I've visited a Chinese medicine practitioner who recommended for me to incorporate barley flour as part of my diet as a healthy form of building your body into health and wellness. So with that said, this particular flatbread, I've never done it, so we're going to be trying it out together. The first part of it is that boiling your sweet potatoes. So with that said, I've already done that. You want to boil the whole sweet potato with the skin and all, and boil it really well. So because we're going to be mashing it to incorporate with the flour well. So with that said, we will go ahead and start with our process. That is step one. Alright, so I went on and pretty much peeled most of it. So what I want to talk about, as I always do, is so important to compost. So here we go. We're going to be composting the skin, right? And then if you say like, well, I don't have compost bin and whatnot, this is just simply, I think I had, baby spinach that came with. I'm using that, I'm recycling for the use of it, and I'm using it as a compost bin until I take it to the garden and discard it or put it in where it can be composted. So I put this in the fridge on the side, and I easily just drop everything that can be compostable and easily carry it to the destination to continue. So again, we have to be not only healthy for ourselves, but we also have to mind our environment health, right? So with that said, so I have peeled both sweet potato. It came up real easily because I boiled it really well, and then now it's just a matter of mashing. So in regards to sweet potatoes, as you guys probably already know by now, that they have many health benefits. They're very high in beta carotene, antioxidant, high in vitamin A, so many different things. And of course, they're beautiful, vibrant color, helps. And that sometimes we tend to eat with our eyes, and having a beautiful orange color will not hurt. So just that easily. I boiled it so much so it's easy to mash. Okay, so we're gonna do 1 cup to 1 cup. So meaning 1-to-1 ratio of the sweet potato and the flour. Alright, so we have our sweet potato in our bowl. Now we can do our flour. So I chose barley as my flour, as I mentioned earlier. We're going to do 2 of these, because this is a half a cup, but 1-to-1 ratio, so 1 cup of flour to 1 cup of sweet potato. So let's do that. While I do this, let's talk about a little bit about barley. Barley is high in fiber. So of course, our previous videos that we mentioned the importance of fiber and what it can do for us. So we're gonna do that. This is a half a cup. So I did a full cup. So 1-to-1 ratio. And of course, obviously, you want any form of grain to be at its whole grain if possible. Obviously we need the flour to make, the flatbread, but so another form of barley that you could consume that is more of whole food than the flour, I would say, is this barley. They made it into little pearl, where it seems like, I don't know what the process is, but they've cleaned off maybe the outer layer, so this is more of a whole food. But at the same time, this flour, sometimes it's hard to find barley flour, but if you are in Atlanta or metropolitan areas, I went to DeKalb Farmers Market, and they had this organic barley. And though it is, grounded up to a finer product, I see some flakes in it that perhaps, still some level of fiber in the outer covering is not completely stripped like some flours are. So I'm hoping there's some level of fiber. Also, sweet potato is very high in fiber, so I think we're covered on our fiber on this recipe. So we have our 1-to-1 mixture. So right now we're just going to use the fork to mix it while the stickiness element is reduced before we can handle it with hands, right? With my hand. So as you can see, as it becomes more and more incorporated, it becomes less and less sticky. And also just wanted to say that a lot of the times, whether it be cooking food from home, from scratch, or anything, any project or work, sometimes it is, the thought is more taxing, like how hard it's going to be when we're thinking about that. It's discouraging. Also, the other element that makes it hard or easy is how you prepare. How well are you prepared before you even start the act? So I've laid out all these things that makes it an easier process. I don't have to think or reach, or that could be mentally taxing and breaks your flow. So I took out my skillet last night. I boiled my sweet potato last night, and I even put the flour and all that stuff out earlier before I started the process, as you saw. And another element that kind of discourages us often is like, oh, I don't have this, I don't have that. So, okay, so I don't have all-purpose flours, but I can try it with something else, like I have this barley flour. So that is an element. Another, that might have been limiting element here is that I don't have anything to roll the flatbread with, but I'm using my good old water glass. So again, what we say in the coaching world, set up the environment for inevitable success, meaning some of these limited or obstacles, limitation or obstacles, you want to create, foresee ahead of time and create a stepwise process, so it will be easier to flow, it's organized, and it will decrease that mental taxation, if you will, and also have an easier, more pleasant experience. So now that we have, it's a little bit more combined, you want to put lots of flowers. If I remember what she did, put lots of flowers in it. So maybe I need more flowers here too, because it's kind of okay. So, and you also keep improvising as you go along, because that's the name of the game. That's life. Life is going to constantly throw curves at you, but the whole point is you keep trying. You don't give up. You keep trying. You keep trying, and eventually it will come together. That's just the way it goes. But if you give up before it even starts, you never have the chance to reap the benefit of your labor, your vision, or whatever that is. Okay, so kind of like doughy, right? That's pretty cool. All right, so I think if I remember correct, that she kind of kneaded a little bit. Yeah, so it's well incorporated. All right, so that's what's happening here. Patted it into this shape and then cut it into parts. So we're gonna give it a try. All right, part 3. Yeah, part 3. Knead, combine the flour, put the dough in a situation where you can cut it into pieces. Now we have this kind of in a roll kind of situation. We're gonna attempt to cut it in pieces and then in rounds and flatten it. So that is the process. Hopefully you can see it. I'm gonna try to do, supposed to about even parts. I don't know. Let's see. 1, 2. It's still sticky, so I think it needs more flour. You kind of want to knead this by itself. So, still too big. So you want it in a way that is not so super big. So the name of the game, it looks like a lot of flour. A lot of flowers, and I think I'm gonna cut it more, pull it apart. I think if I remember correct, that's what she did. So you wanna roll it. I think that's gonna be too small. So experimenting, as you move along, just keep experimenting to see what works. So you know, next time. So each time you do it, hopefully get better and better. But don't give up. Keep trying. Keep trying. Okay, so I guess part 4 is flattening it. So I don't think this is how the experts do it, but I kind of stacked it up, put the flour, kind of spread it a little bit. You know, I'm experimenting, so I have 2 different sizes. So let's start with this process. Technically, I think you kind of flour your roller, but the glass won't stick. So we're just gonna, this is far from how you should do it, but hey, we're just gonna keep rolling with it, keep working with it. Not too bad. Again, the important part I think is having lots of flour. Or I don't know if this is just going to turn to some flour. This is not how you do it. You typically just roll, but again, we're improvising and we lost our. So we have this. Okay, so here I've already flattened the dough into this flat consistency, if you will. So we have this. And I've placed the first one here. I heated my skillet. Let's see. Okay. Something is happening. So it's kind of browning up at the edges. A lot of flowers. Oh, and look, it's puffing up. I'm not sure if you can see it. It's puffing up. So it's recommended to put it in some cloth and cover it to keep it nice and soft. So we will do that and see how it goes. So that allows it to maintain its flexibility. A little bit of life lesson while we're doing this. From this, I kind of learned, initially I was putting one flatbread at a time because I didn't know what I was doing. Just like in life, you know, you start somewhere and keep growing. So then I put 2, and then assessing the situation, I've gotten a little bit faster. Perhaps I should turn the heat up so it can be a little bit faster. Perhaps I could apply, the vastness of this skillet and maybe do more than one. So I did 2, then 3, now I'm doing 4. So essentially, basically, whatever that is, whether it be your career, a project, or your journey to health and wellness, you want to just kind of start somewhere. The very first thing is start somewhere. Just like that one flatbread. Is it going to turn? Is it going to do the da-da-da? Initially, it was time-consuming and mental. It was required more mental capacity. So I did it a couple of times and like, okay, yeah, cool. Let's do that. The same thing. But if I had given up and I was annoyed, like, okay, it's taking me forever. It'll take me like 2 hours to do this. Is it worth it to have, breakfast to go to? No. Maybe not, but then as you go along, you keep working at it, right? Same thing with your health and wellness goal. Starting somewhere, drinking water, then eliminating something that might be pro-inflammatory, things that are making your body work so hard, and things that are difficult for your digestive system. Maybe eliminating some of those things, then adding on to healthier, more nourishing food, then adding to the different dimensions of life, bringing some mental health and spiritual development. So this is our life lesson just with this flatbread, is you get to demonstrate that it's really a process. Anything in life is a process. The first few tries, the first fail, the second fail, we have to fail at something to get up and do it better. So it's not really a failure. It's a test, try, go, walk, skip, run, jump, so it's just a segue to your success. So don't give up, keep doing it, stay positive. So now we have the sweetness of our sweet potato flatbread, or chapati, or it's not quite chapati. We're just going to call it flatbread because we're still experimenting. But we keep doing this. You keep doing whatever that thing you're trying to achieve, and I keep practicing on this. I'm pretty sure I'll get better than what I'm, making right now. So, anyways, see, first fell. I burned it. So again, when you're trying to juggle things, so it's a good idea to have 3-4 things. Sometimes when you juggle too much and talking, not focusing, you can also start messing up a little bit. But it's okay. Next time you know. Alright, so soon enough we will test the sweetness of our flatbread and so the sweetness of our labor. Okay, so we're finally done. So I want to show you my flatbreads. So it has been a process, though we learn. It's a learning process, and it's not just learning process in regards to this flatbread making, but it was about nutrition and also just life processes. So it was valuable in so many ways. So also covering it up actually helps to keep it more flexible. So here we go. This is our product, a flatbread. So this one a little bit more flexible. I guess you can roll it if you were to make a large as a wrap. Probably as I learned a little bit more, you can make a little taco kind of situation. You can use it to like scoop little, whether it be hummus, salsa, I can see all kind of stuff. If you want it more toward the sweet, I guess you can put some nut butter or sunflower butter like we learned last time. You can do many different things with it, likely, but we are on the way. So this is first sweet potato flatbread. As I improve upon it, I will share the progress. I'm going to keep working on it because it is actually quite tasty. Let's try one of the small one. Yeah, so it's good. So thank you for joining me with this experimentation. It was quite a delicious experimentation and life lesson. Who knew? It was just about making flatbread. It was reminiscent and kind of sharing of my life lesson just by doing this little flatbread. Again, I hope that you enjoyed this process of learning, experimenting. Please give like, share, and comment to see if you've tried it, try it, if there's anything else that can make it better, what you've learned, what you can teach us. It's a bi-directional learning here. I'm learning as much from the YouTube world as I hope to contribute toward the learning process. So, but thank you. And subscribe, please, so we can continue to bring this content to you and get better. Because as you see, we have quite limitation, the sound, the echo, and all of this. But again, you have to start somewhere, and this is our beginning. Thank you for being part of our community.